Welcome, everybody. Welcome back. I am back. As the caption says, I am back. My first preview in a long, long time, and I'm back solo. I'm back. I'm doing it out of my new kitchen, so this might be the setting for a while, but I said I'm going to start back and just want to wish everybody a happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Could not leave it. I was planning on making a comeback in January and doing a weekly preview, but I can't leave Stevens' Day out of it. Now, as we know, Stevens' Day, absolute whitewasher racing. 11 meetings across the UK and Ireland, 3 in Ireland and 8 in the UK. But I'm going to focus, like I always do, on my own pattern. I'm just going to focus on Leopardstown, but I'm also going to preview the 3 Grade 1s from Kempton. Of course, King George is the feature day of St. Stephen's Day here in Ireland, and of course, as it's known as Boxing Day in the UK. We're going to crack on with Leopardstown. We have a 7 race card beginning at 12 o'clock. This is an interesting card. It's not as deep as the card as I like or as I remember in other years, but it's some cracking races on the lineup. As I said, we kick off at 12 o'clock. It's a maiden hurdle over 2 miles, 4-year-olds, and there's 30 runners declared here. This is kind of a race now I'm interested in watching a few going forward for the future. One of those is the Willie Mullins French recruit, another way in the double green of Simon Muir and Isaac Suede with Darrell Jape coming over, who's retained rider, take the ride. 92 at the minute. Could be a little bit of value. He has a couple to beat, though, to have a bit of form. Ascendant, I think, is his main rival for Henry Bramhead. Chris Jones is runner. Rachel Blackmore takes the ride. And DP Cooper for Gordon Elliott. But I'm very interested in this another way. And if it goes out 5 or 6 to 1, I'll probably have a little each way this week. And other than that, it's just going to be a watching race for the future. But I really like that another way on his pedigree. And of course, he's a half brother to Constanlista, who the owners had some great success with. So yeah, I'm interested in that one, but it's a race I'm just going to view myself. But another way is my each way selection in that race. Then we're going to go to the next race, 12:35. It's a 2 mile maiden hurdle. Again, 23. It's a deep contest here, and again, it's another one where we're looking for the future. King of Kingsfield is the farm horse. Gordon Elliott's runner. He was second in the grade. Was it the grade 1 the last day in Down Royal? But I don't know. I have my doubts about King of Kingsfield. Helvic Dream is very interesting for Noah Mead. Very useful sort on the flat. But the one I'm going to side with here each way is Icar the Boss for Willie Mullins and Danny Mullins combining here. 12 to 1, I just think is a little bit overpriced. Very, very impressive winning a 15-runner bumper in Fairy House. Beat some nice horses that day. But disappointed ultimately on his hurdle debut. Fancied enough. Paul Townend actually pulled him up, and he reported. I read the Stewart's report after. Said he heard a noise, and I think was post race to have a cough. So interesting that Willie brings it back here. Willie doesn't bring him back without having them 100%. So I just think a 12 to 1 could definitely outrun its odds there. And of course, 23 runners, you might get an extra place or two on the day. Then we're going to kick on to the first grade race of the day. It's a grade 2. It's a juvenile hurdle. This is an absolute clash race over 2 miles. We've 12 runners declared here. I think the bet of the day here is Mighty Bandit. Even money. I think I was so impressed with this Order St. George runner on his debut win in the maiden hurdle in Punchestown over 2 miles. Absolutely trounced him. I remember that day. And some days you watch races and they can win impressively. This lad really took my eye and I said he's going to be my juvenile to watch for the year. So I think he's going to take all the beating here. Even money, probably I will fire him into a little bit of an accumulation with some of the shorter ones along the week, like as I'm going to preview here. But the one that there's a couple of interesting runners from Willie Mullins. He has 3 or 4 in the race, and they all I think come over from France. There's 3 of them I think making their Irish debuts. One that interests me though is Clara de Blazes. I'm absolutely butchering the name. She's As I said, she's a French recruit, owned by Barnan, stud the green and red colours. They've had some nice fillies and mares now down through the years, and they're kind of concentrating on the breeding side of it. Very shrewd operation. Wouldn't buy one now without having pedigree, and wouldn't run it without having a chance. Brian Hayes takes the ride. I just think a 33-1 could definitely outrun its odds. I see it's 16-1 without the favourite, because I am very sweet in the favourite here, even money. Even money is a bit short, but I think he's a good thing, this Mighty Bandit. But at 16-1 without the fav, you're going to get a run top four. I think Carnier de Blaziz could be definitely one, and definitely one for the future. Then we're going to kick on to the 145. It's a novice handicap hurdle, the first handicap of the day. We have 23 runners declared here. Striking for me for Jessica Harrington and Connor Smithers. A valuable £7 claimer, this Connor Smithers. Take note of this lad. He's definitely, I think, you're going to get 5 and 6 places. He's only gone up £3 since his last run. Now, I really like this son of Ecolanio. I just think at the prices to squeak into the top 5, you should definitely be thereabouts. The other one interests me in this race. In these big runner handicaps, I like to hedge my bets, and I like to maybe go for one or two. There's money for it now, which is very, very it's the key here. Colin Murphy trains. Paul McKeown owns, a very shrewd owner who owns a lot of good horses with a lot of good trainers. Doesn't have the form maybe to back up what I'm saying, but there's money for it. I was looking when the first X came out, it was 33-1. This is actually a son of Pour Moi, who on debut I was actually very taken with his pedigree, and I actually, he's a horse I watched on debut, and I was actually going to have a little each way play in it, but it was a fairly decent maiden hurdle, and I think I don't think he's been fired on his 3 runs. He's making his debut in a handicap. There's money for it. Brian Hayes again, Colin Murphy, they combine down in the bottom of the weights with the age. Only carrying 10-9. Definitely one to play each way, I think, especially you're going to get to 5 and 6 places. So cap plan pour moi. But striking is going to be my main each way play, but a small little bit of a play on cap playing pour moi. I need to start taking the French lessons, because it's absolutely I'm absolutely butchering a lot of the French names. Where are we going to next now? Sorry, no, I just lost my train of thought. Then we're going to move on to the 5th race in the card, the 220, the first grade one that I'm going to preview here. And we have a very short one here. Facile Vega 1 to 3. There's only 4 runners. Sarja, a stalwart for the Willie Mullins operation. Danny takes the right, of course. Richie's colours. We all know what Sarja done over hurdles. Found a 50 for Gordon Elliott, 92. Not without a chance. And my mate Mozzie, who was beaten on his debut over fences, but didn't absolutely hose up in Cheltenham. But for me, Facile Vega, there's been a lot of pressure on this walk in the park. Geldon being, of course, out of Quevega and bombed out at the festival last year, and we all thought, would he get him back or would he not get him back? Or sorry, bombed out at the Dublin Racing Festival. The run, they finished second in Cheltenham. I thought, for me, this is a horse that's after convincing me he's a proper horse. All along, I was like, he can be. I think I was going to take him on, but I think for me, Paddy's back on board. Of course, seen him winning bumpers on him, and I just think get him settled. This lad will absolutely do a job. So for me, very original 1 to 3, Facile Vega. Then we're going to go to the penultimate race of the day, the 255. This is the Racing Post Handicap Steeplechase. 11 runners declared here. One at a bit of a price, 20-1 Fire Attack. I just think second run for Gordon Elliott coming back from Joseph O'Brien's yard. I just think there could be a little bit under the tank here if you can reignite some of that form right. Gordon has, how many is he in the race? He has only the 2, was it? But he's only the 2 in the race. One of them is fancied, he's claiming off it, but I just think Fire Attack, I think if he comes back to form at 20-1, I think you're getting 4 places. I think your man is thrown in here, Chavez at 5-2. He could be, as you'd see on the flat, the old a group horse running the handicap. He could be definitely a group horse running handicap, albeit it's jump racing Chavez for Malcolm Denmark. But I'm just going to go with just a small squeak each way and a fire attack at 20-1. And then we're going to go to the bumper. And the bumpers were races I used to like previewing, and then I fell out of love with them. But there's one here just at a bit of a price. There's 14 runners declared. We've got a hot one with Cantico in the colours of Audrey Turley, who of course owns Gallop in the Champ. Odds on at 10-11, but for me, one at each way at 8-1. Pa Kingtail's right for Martin Brazil, owned by Sean Burnett Mulryan, who of course they won the Gold Cup with Fast or Slow, and their owners that are getting very prominent now, especially in the National Hunt Sphere. And of course, Martin Brazil, he's kind of one of their main trainers now. As a lot of the horses that they had running for other trainers seems to be coming here. Pa King rode this lad on debut in Punchestown in April. It was ran 4th of 16. It was only beaten less than 4 lengths that day, but turned in like a good thing, and he was running green. He ran a bit green that day, and I just think he'll come on from the run. He's had a bit of time. He'll probably straighten up. He'll come back at 8-1. Pa is an absolute savage £5 claimer. Like he's some value for £5. He's one of the top National Hunt point-to-point riders. Pa is. He knows the time of day, and I just think this son of Azamore, I think at 8-1 he could definitely outrun his odds. So hopefully we bang in a couple, especially at those big prices. Even we get in place, I might do a look 15-4, the biggest outsiders. I think your man is a good thing in the grade 2 in the juvenile Gordon Elliott's runner. But I just think at the prices, I'll stick him into a little bit of an Acume or treble maybe. But at the prices, I'll go with Willie's horse each way. But yeah, those are my selections for Leopardstown. I'm going to go through the 3 grade 1s in Kempton fairly quick. Look, there's one of them a clear cut anyway. But the first one we're going to take a look at is the 120. It's the Call of Star Novices Chase. I really like one here. French runner, Iles Francais. Very taken by this lad. The word, there was a lot of touting about him. James Reilly comes over, of course. He's a UK jockey, but based in France now all the time. I think he was champion jockey a couple of times over there. And he was, they touted this lad a lot. And I actually watched his last run. He was very impressive in Artois. I just think French runners have done very well in this race down through the years. So for me, El Fran at 2-1 gets my vote here. Horms Allen is probably the one to beat, and Lucinda Russell's horse won't be too far away either. But I'm just going to go for the French runner here. Probably might drift on the day. They don't tend to come for the French lads, so I think at 2-1 he's definitely my play in the grade 1. Then we go to the Christmas hurdle. This has been won down through the years by some of the greats. Like I remember, I actually watched a replay. Kevin Blake had a replay up of Archibald winning this the other day. What a ride he gave it. If you ever, as Paul Carberry, just go back and watch some of Paul Carberry's rides. And of course, Paul Carberry is probably one of the greatest horsemen to ever ride a horse, I think. And just watch back the Christmas hurdle. Rooster Booster went about 2 furlongs clear, turned into the straight here in King George. Was it the Christmas hurdle or the King George? Anyway, Archibald, how would it be the King George? It was the Christmas hurdle. But I'm waffling now. Constitution Hill 1-10, not even worth talking about. Rob Bond, I think it'd be the one to chase him home at 6-1. So if there's some sort of a special going on there with the first 2, I think. But other than that, the only thing that beats Constitutional Hill is the obstacles in front of him. And look, he's made a believer out of a lot of us. We probably still want to see more of a quality of a horse to take him on, but he's just making him look very ordinary, the ones in behind. But I'd want to 10. But then we're going to go to the feature race of the day in Kempton and the card, of course, the King George. It's one of those races where, as a young fella, your father watched it, or it's like you always knew what the King George was. This year's renewal, on paper, looking at it, 6 runners mightn't be a golden renewal, but we might even be saying that after the race. there's the six top quality horses here. Shishkin, of course, quirky lad. He's a horse you kind of love or hate. I don't love him. I'm not going to say I hate him. Alaho, I think for me, he's the one here. I just think he's just everybody. He's 7-4 now, and I just think obviously the reason he's that price is because of the break. He came back in Clonmel. He only beat 3 runners, but he done very well that day. Now it's going to be a different story here, and I just think he'll come on from the run. He always did anyway, and I just think, yeah, I think we might see. I just think it's a race where every runner has a question. Look, the real whacker, seeing what he done in Cheltenham, albeit everyone said he was a lucky winner at Cheltenham, but he pulled up on his season debut. Shiskin refused the last day. Hewick has been a bit in and out. He's been a stalwart for the yard, but I just don't know if he can cut it at this top end of it. I'd love to see him run a cracker. Frodon just getting a bit too old, in my opinion. Brave Man's Game sweetened this lad here last year. I might come back and bite my words, but I just think he's overcooked. I just think he's overcooked this year. So for me, I just think if Alaho comes back even to half of what he was in his the last time he won the Ryanair, I just think he'll absolutely trounce these. But again, he's 7-4, and the reason he's 7-4 is because you're still having a question mark along with the other 5 runners. But for me, I'm going to go for Alaho. Yeah, it's not actually been a deep day's racing for St. Stephen's Day racing. But look, I'm going to come back every day, preview the Christmas racing and the New Year's racing, and then in January I'm going to kick back once a week. I'm going to preview. I'm going to take some selections over Cheltenham. I'm going to come back and hopefully we bang in a few winners each way in Lucky 15 tomorrow. Anyway, guys, happy Christmas. And again, tomorrow is definitely a day's racing where you kind of have to stop, take a breath. I'm just going to focus on Leopardstown, watch the 3 grade ones in Kempton. I'm going to pick out my small Lucky 15. Myself and a good friend of mine, Brian, we actually do a Lucky 15 between us, and that's what we're going to do tomorrow. So you don't have to go 11 meetings hell for leather. You don't have to bet in every race. As I said, the first 2 races in Leopardstown, I'm very interested in it. I get my selections, but I don't think I'm even going to have a bet in it. So look, anyway, I'm going to log off this Mac. I've not my computer logged in. It's going to tell me it's going to go asleep. Anyway, guys, hit the like, hit the share button. I'm back. Cheers.